Hi, I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapin.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
Jim, we are here at the legendary Joe Forte's summer patio party. We never miss this party.
I gotta tell you, if you're watching in the rest of the country, this is a place you want to visit while in Vancouver. They got a great patio, great food. It is a legendary, iconic place to visit.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to checking out everything at the party.
That's right. We're also going to head right now to Our City Tonight.
We're here in Delta at the most amazing Indian restaurant, Tasty Indian Bistro. Krista Lee, again, you found a gem.
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
This is possibly the most beautiful Indian restaurant I have ever been in. It's just gorgeous here, yeah, so thanks for inviting me. Okay, what are we going to first here?
All right, well, it wouldn't be a segment if I didn't bring Bubbles,
right?
So I thought we'd start and kick off this session segment with a little Elan effervescence. So this is a new one that we've just released.
Right.
This is primarily Ortega, and it's a little bit sweeter than our other two sparklings from Evolved Cellars. So it's got this amazing sort of muscat characteristic to it. It works so amazingly well with different flavors, spices, you know, Sunday brunch. It doesn't really need anything. Patio, of course.
Yes.
Everything works on a patio.
So we're having this before we get into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Now it's not sugar, but I think you mentioned before that it's got some honey base in it.
No, not honey in it. It just those are the flavors. So that's a good question though. We get a lot of people that say when I say strawberries or watermelon or honey, we don't add anything to the wine.
Right.
Those are just how we describe the grape flavors. But
You scoring at home, that was a good question.
that was a very good question.
See, Lita? Good question.
He's learning slowly.
Let's try this.
Cheers.
The two intelligent women and this idiot. All right.
Right? It's got a little bit of sweetness to it, a little residual
Not that
sugar,
bad,
but
not
not at
sweet,
all. No,
really,
it's not sweet. It's more fruit forward.
Yeah.
Which can go with everything and dessert as well.
Absolutely. When we talk Indian food, quite often people shy away from wine, but there's so many amazing flavors and so many different versatile wines that'll work well with it. And this, I think, will work really well because there's so much going on the plate that this will work.
Well, drink up and we can dive in.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
We're going to come back a little later in the show to talk about a red wine that you can get here. Am I right on that?
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's coming up later in the show. Right in the middle of the party, and we're standing with the guy that makes the food really good here, Chef Wayne. We had a chance earlier this morning before the party started to do some cooking with you. Let's go see how that turned out. Okay, we are here, Chef Wayne, and we're going to learn about some wonderful summer items. The patio, of course, one of the best ones in the city. What are we cooking today?
We're cooking halibut cheeks today. So obviously halibut is in full swing, as is a lot of the local fish. So halibut cheeks are like that delicacy item that kind of people don't know about.
Really? And so what are we going to do first?
We're going to be searing our halibut cheeks. So what we have here is we have some really nice halibut cheeks. They're all been nice and cleaned off. So what we have is we have a really nice hot pan.
Yeah.
You want to get the oil almost smoking.
Is there a certain type of oil too?
You know, a canola oil or a good quality olive oil.
Okay.
You don't want it, if you're using an olive oil, you don't want it too hot because the olive oil will actually burn.
Right,
and it'll have a really odd flavor.
And with halibut, you don't want to overwhelm it with too many ingredients.
Absolutely not. You want to keep it really simple. Simple butters. Or fruit salsas, if you will, or something like that. It works great with halibut.
And Joe Forte's is always, seafood is their specialty.
Absolutely.
So kind of synonymous with seafood,
is our
isn't it?
thing here.
Very nice. How long have you been here, Wayne?
I've been here just over 6 years.
Yeah?
Executive chef, yeah.
I guess Lita and I do come here quite often, and yeah, we're not going to lie, the viewers probably see that. There must be a constant challenge to creatively come up with new things, because you can't get complacent with your menu, can you?
You can't get, and we've been here 31 years. Joe's been here 31 years, so we can't get complacent, and we can't just take our business for granted. So even though we're a classic seafood and chop house, we're always trying to kind of come up with new ideas and new things to kind of keep it fresh.
Right, right.
Great. And so where do you get your inspiration then?
Well, obviously, we're very lucky here on the West Coast with all the fresh local fish, seafood, berries, produce from the Fraser Valley. So it's not really hard to come up with inspiration, especially in the summertime and the spring when all these things are in abundance.
And are
Absolutely.
you seeing people, the trend moving towards more health, more fish, less meat?
You know, fish has always been a staple here at Joe's, and I
Right.
think it's really a staple here in the city of Vancouver and here on the West Coast. So we're really fortunate.
Right, right.
Any favorite fish to work with?
You know, I love halibut. I love salmon. Those are kind of my go-to things. It's kind of like when halibut runs, it's really the first fish that runs in the season, and when it starts running, it's really kind of the start of our local fish.
Nice.
And it's the longest running season, and it goes right through till almost November. So yeah, we're really fortunate.
Very cool.
Oh, and that smells so good already.
And so those are well done enough?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, those are
You don't want to overdo that, like Lady was saying. Obviously, people do that, right?
Yeah, you don't want to overcook them. You want to keep them a little more medium inside, a little bit of translucent on the side. Some of the thicker ones might need a little bit more time, but the thinner ones, you definitely want to remove them.
But having it a little bit underdone is fine, right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. You know, overdone halibut, any fish for that matter, is not nice.
Okay. Well, we have the halibut ready, Wayne. What do we do next?
What we're going to do is we're going to quickly build a sauce. We don't want to spend too much time on the sauce because we don't want the halibut cheeks to cool down.
Right.
So basically in the pan, we're going to add a little bit of white wine.
Uh-oh, Jim, hands off.
And the whole idea of the
I don't
sauce
drink it out of the pan.
is really a reduction.
Now, what are you putting in here?
A little bit of leeks and shallots.
Oh, yum.
And the whole idea of a reduction is when you're building your sauce, the wine you start with, let's say, a half a cup of wine, but you simmer it away until only about a quarter. You reduce it by half, and that intensifies the flavors, burns off the alcohol, and also allows for the sauce to be nice and thick. So we're basically going to let this simmer until, you know, a quarter of the amount that we started with is in there.
So something so fast cooking like halibut, you have to have everything kind of ready. Does it take longer to actually prep than actually do the cooking?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the whole idea. I always tell people, mise en place, have everything ready to go.
Right.
Yeah, it makes it more fun because you make it really easy, and I'm like, this is not easy at all.
No, absolutely. It's perfect. It's just being ready. So basically, that's how our wine looks. We've fully reduced it, and now we're going to add some heavy cream to this.
Heavy cream, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason why we use heavy cream, you don't want to use like Cremo or coffee cream. You want a heavy cream, which is at
Good to
least,
know.
which is also known as whipping cream. You definitely want to have 33 to 36% milk fat. Otherwise,
Good to know.
it's just going to turn to cottage cheese when it boils.
Oh, good to know.
Oh, good to know,
Separate,
of course, yeah.
And you know, people lots of times text me or phone me saying, "I made pasta sauce and it turned like lumpy." It's because you're not using full fat cream.
Wow,
It needs to
okay.
be full fat. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let this reduce until half of it is remaining, which again is going to go really quick. And we're almost there. We're going to add some of our tomatoes to this.
Oh, excellent.
And heirloom tomatoes?
These are an heirloom tomato. Yeah.
Nice.
If you want to use green, if you want to use several different colors, by all means. I'm using just all red.
And are you guys paying a lot of attention to the whole farm to table? I know that's and it's a good trend, but everybody in town seems to be really focusing and trying their best to do that. Is that something you guys look after as well?
We're always looking to find as much local stuff that
Good,
we can.
good, yeah.
Obviously, with the volume that we go through, sometimes it's hard to find,
Sure.
that much. But we're always looking for as much local product as we can, and we're so fortunate
Yeah.
because there is so much local product here. So why wouldn't you?
Oh, that looks
So we're
great.
going to add a little bit of salt to that, just a little bit. We're almost there.
And foods nowadays, I'm noticing just with chefs, good chefs, they're not salting as much, right?
No, you want to keep it to a minimum. You definitely want to wait until after this is reduced before you start adding the salt. Otherwise, it's going to be way too salty. So if you season it ahead of time and you taste it, it tastes great. By the time you reduce it, those flavors are so intense, it's going to be overly salty.
Okay,
And
perfect.
this looks really, you're an accomplished chef, but for people watching at home, this looks like something relatively easy to do. You shouldn't be intimidated.
No, it is really
You're going to
easy
do
to
it better than I can do it at home, but it's fairly simplistic in its presentation.
It's really quite simple to do. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add. This is basically whole butter that we have literally cubed. So yeah, we're worried about the salt, but maybe not the fat so much.
No.
Wait, question: Can you make this without the butter, or does that really add?
You could literally just finish it with the cream if you wanted, and end it with that. The butter just adds that really decadent, rich flavor,
Okay.
and that's basically what And again, you want to have the heat off. You turn the heat off. You want to have the heat off, otherwise the butter will just start to separate.
I already smell that. That is just incredible.
This is a time where folks at home would love to have that smell TV.
Oh, yes.
Smell-o-vision.
Oh, my God.
So basically that's the finished sauce right there. And we're going to just spoon it over the halibut cheeks.
Wow.
One of the common comments you get when you eat halibut cheeks is they taste like scallops. And they really do have that really decadent, delicate flavor like scallops. And then we're literally just going to finish it with some of our locally grown microgreens.
Gorgeous.
And that's basically our fresh halibut cheeks.
Wow.
David.
We're not leaving here for a while.
There you go.
Beautiful. And I could easily eat all 4 of these, which would probably still be very light.
Absolutely. You know, that's definitely rich with the sauce, but this isn't something you're eating every single day.
No,
This is a delicacy. This is something you're doing on, on a weekend, kind of once in a while.
And Wayne, this is on the menu all summer?
Yeah, absolutely. All summer, as long as we can get the cheeks, we run it as much as we can.
Okay, I'm having more. Thank you very much to Chef Wayne and Joe Fortes. We'll get back to the party at Fortes right after this.
Well, we're giving away an amazing CD, 40 Years of Foreigner.
And we've got a guy that spent a lot of years doing radio and TV, and now you've got, Joe Larry, you've also got a beer radio show, correct?
Called Just Here for the Beer. I've spun a lot of these hits. Hard to believe, 1977 feels like the first time. It was the first time we heard Foreigner. 40 years later, they're still a big deal.
And we've got their greatest hits, as Joe just mentioned, to give to you. Lita, how can you win by watching Our City Tonight?
Go to our Facebook page and hashtag Foreigner.
And Joe, where can people hear your show?
On TSN Radio Vancouver.
We're back here at the Tasty Indian Bistro in Delta.
That is right, and I got to tell you, you've chosen a wine that's available here, CL, but also that would go perfect with the food we're looking at right now.
Yes, when we talk about Indian food, generally people don't think wine a lot of the time, or if they do, it's Gewürztraminer, it's Riesling, it's, aromatic whites generally. But we have created this Merlot for Time Winery. It's a brand new varietal for us, and Tasty is one of the few restaurants that actually carries it. It's a very small production, and we created it to go with food such as this because it's got great fruit to it, but it's got a little bit of a spice to it, and works really well when you talk about the flavors here. So you've got cinnamon and cumin and cardamom and all of those amazing. You can smell all those aromas. This is why we made this wine. So.
Normally it's just the wine I'm focused on too, but this is spectacular. So you've tailored it for basically this type of meal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it will work with other food as well. It's Merlot, but specifically, we know that it'll work with these flavors too. So
Cheers. Let's try this.
Cheers.
Right? It's got great, rich, ripe fruit, got a little bit of spice, a little bit of pepper that'll work really well with these.
And this is the kind of one I would think too that all year round. Like
Absolutely.
a cozy fire in December or patio with barbecue, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's got soft tannins and whatnot, so I think barbecue as well. Works with food, doesn't need food, is going to stand up to a lot of different flavors. I know you're used to me saying
No.
that,
It's always, I'm never tiring of you saying that. And you haven't mentioned potato chips once. Okay.
It's not over yet.
We have one more wine later in the show that may involve drinking with potato chips.
It may.
We'll come back to Delta in just a little while.
Chris, you've been in the restaurant business a long time. In fact, all your young working life.
Young working life, yes.
But you are the new guy on the block
Yes.
for Joe Fortes. What's that like taking over this iconic restaurant?
It's iconic. It is exactly that. I'm honored to be here. It's been a dream of mine. I actually grew up working across the street at the Keg Steakhouse and Bar, so always kind of, looked across the street and saw Joe's and thought maybe one day I could work here.
Well, perfect. Then dreams do come true. And so,
do.
do you see anything that you're going to change, or have you seen major changes?
There's been some changes here over the past few months, we could say that, but I think it's business as usual, as you can see. And
Yes.
our staff are amazing, and that's 99% of it. So
right.
we're just here to make sure everyone's happy.
Well, we're excited that it's just going along like business as usual, and
Absolutely.
we're super happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. All right.
We're back at the party now, and I'm back at a guy who goes to a lot of parties. Man about town, good friend Fred Lee. You can see him in the province and a million other places. Fred, this has got to be one of the best patios in the city.
Absolutely. You know, if there is sunshine, this is the place any Vancouverite or British Columbian wants to be, and that is on the rooftop of Joe's.
And you're a longtime diner here.
Yes.
You cover the scene. For people in the rest of the country, we were saying earlier, you're in Vancouver. This is a place you definitely want to come.
You know, and what I love about this restaurant is it's not only a favorite of visitors to our fair city, but it's also a favorite of Vancouverites. And that is simply because they have outstanding seafood and, you know, some of the best steaks in town.
Absolutely. Got to ask you, how do you maintain a life? You're married, recently married, we should say, and you're out at these parties all the time. How do you? Your stamina must be spectacular.
You know what? I think I'm holding. I am literally holding the reason to my stamina. But you know what? There is so much to celebrate in this city, as you know.
Yes.
And the culinary scene is one of those reasons why.
Better and better every year.
Why visitors come to Vancouver, why we are always here, because of the food scene. And I can't say enough about Wayne. He has been here for now 6.5 years.
Yeah.
And what I love about the food scene in Vancouver is these individuals do not only hold their breadth of knowledge, but they also share it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you know, but of course Wayne is also the corporate chef at McFleetwood's restaurant.
Outside of Kanapali.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I mentioned that.
And I had a chance to visit Wayne in Kanapali, and the fact that he is improving the food scene abroad is a true testament to the talent that we have here in our city.
Well said. Fred
Yes.
Lee, well spoken. If you're here or you come to town, check out Fred's column in the Province Sunday. It tells you what's going on. Fred, we'll let you get back to the stamina and the drinking.
I appreciate the
Cheers.
shout out. Have a
Thank
great
you. You
summer.
too, man. Well, we are back here for the last part of our Spirits Up segment. We are at just a spectacular Indian restaurant here in Delta, Tasty's Bistro, and we still have the food out, which we're all getting ready to sample, but you have something else you want to talk to us about right now.
Absolutely. When you think Indian food or spicy food or Mediterranean, for me, I think Gewürztraminer. For me, it's also not particularly one of my favorite varietals because I find quite often it will have very floral, very overpowering rose petal characteristic. But for our 2016 Evolved Gewürztraminer, it's got a little bit of floral, but to me it's got way more lychee nut and pink grapefruit characteristic and this great acidity that's just going to work so amazingly well with this food.
And which dish would this pair best with?
I think it'll work really well with the alagobi because you've got the spice, you've got the cauliflower, buttered chicken's going to work really well as well. You know what? It's going to work with everything. Gewürz itself, the word Gewürz means spice in German, and you'll notice that it has a spicy characteristic to it.
Very much.
And Traminer is the area in which it was originally grown. So that's how the grape got its name. And it grows so amazingly well in the Okanagan Valley.
And you, I say this all the time. I was joking with Lita the other day about the fact that you have turned me on to certain types of wine that I never drank. Chardonnay and Gewürz too. You first showcased that, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago on one of our shows, and I went, I never drink that. And she was teasing me because I never drink it. It's fantastic.
And I'm bringing you to new restaurants
Really?
and new wines.
cities.
It's like a whole...
Well, it's been beautiful out here in
It sure
Delta,
has.
and this is an incredible restaurant.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.
And we should say thanks for all the wonderful hospitality that Tasty's put out today. This is a spectacular restaurant.
Well, 28 fabulous years since you came here and started the Bard on the Beach, and it is iconic, as you are as well. Many awards under your name. When did you first get interested in Shakespeare?
Well, I suppose as a young lad, my mother being an incredible influence on me, took us to see a film, Julius Caesar, I think, one of the great early films with John Gielgud and lots of other famous people. But that was a long time ago, and then I was at boarding school, we had to study Shakespeare, I loved it, I had a bit of a thing about it. I joined the National Youth Theatre, we played Shakespeare all over Europe, and so on and so on.
Well, and lucky us that we get you to come here and start this absolutely wonderful venue, and now going for 28 years. That's incredible. What would you say? Why is Shakespeare so timeless?
Well, the stories really fit into all times, and that's one of the reasons it's been so successful for all these centuries. Here we are over 400 years later, and Shakespeare is probably bigger now in the world than he's ever been. Hit the words of Shakespeare, the stories, the themes. There's a huge story right now in the United States. We don't need to talk about it now since they've run in a bit of trouble with it. But mostly because it's entirely relevant. You can do what you like with the plays as long as you do it wisely.
That's very good advice. And I noticed that for some of the plays that you bring on, you update them, you modernize, and some that you keep the same. Is there any reason you choose that?
Well, sometimes it's all to do with good ideas, and if a director comes to me, somebody that I respect and know, and they have a very, very good idea of what they want to do, and able to communicate that pretty clearly to me, then it's something that we might develop. For instance, the production of Much Ado, which is opening tonight, is pure Shakespeare. Except John Murphy, the director, said, I'm going to need to change a few words just to make it work for the context. 1959, Fellini, Italy, filmmakers. And so I said, all right, no more than 100 words, and that's what's changed.
That's great. Now, I noticed that you've chosen, well, historians might criticize this, but mostly comedies this year. I guess Winter's Tale could be considered a romance comedy.
Yeah, Winter's Tale is fantastic. It's just a remarkable play. It's the kind of play now that if you wrote, let's say, people would say, what is unbelievable? It's got everything in it. It's comedy, romance, tragedy, drama, and a fairy tale to boot. So it's everything. And Gross Impertinence by Shakespeare, at the time perhaps called a comedy, now a greater play than that. And so we're very thrilled to be presenting it in our BMO Main Stage Theatre.
Wonderful. Now, I have to ask a closing question. Could you tell us what your favorite Shakespeare play is?
I used to say, well, it's the plays that we're doing right now. But I'll tell you, you asked me, I'll tell you candidly, I love A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's always been my favorite, and every few years we do it here at Bard, and it's pure magic, pure magic. Yeah.
Congratulations on 28 years, and looking forward to a really, really strong summer of Bard on the Beach.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
This health and wellness segment is brought to you by Viva Nutraceuticals.
Well, I'm out here at Coppersmith Farm Market in Richmond. Why? Well, they're kind of tied in with today's subject for this edition of Health and Wellness. Now, your mom, it seems, was right back when you were a kid telling you to eat all your vegetables, specifically things like broccoli and cabbage and asparagus, because they all contain an antioxidant known as indole-3 carbinol. And that is the subject of this edition of our Health and Wellness segment. Thank you for joining me here in this location. We've never done an interview here in a market, but this is the place to be because we want to talk about I3C, indole-3 carbinol, and the toxicities in our diets and everything. People think they just eat enough vegetables, that's enough. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think that's important to understand is that what we eat from a healthy diet, as you can see, fruits and vegetables, is very important. But we live in an environment that's growingly, exceedingly toxic. And some of these toxins can have a devastating effect on our health. hormonal imbalances, cancer is prevalent, and so diet is something that's very important in preventing a lot of these diseases, but unfortunately that balance doesn't exist anymore. We've got an incredibly toxic environment, and just eating healthy enough, it seems to point the direction that that's just not enough and that we may need to supplement.
Dr. Gita, hormonal imbalance can often lead to disease. Now, what does I3C do to help combat that?
In our environment, we have a toxic environment, that some of these toxins are what we call hormone disruptors, or often what we know as estrogen disruptors. So they can exist through fumes and chemicals, plastic products, BPAs, phthalates, all these things are in the environment. And these hormonal disruptors affect our own hormones and can interplay with those hormones and cause devastating consequences. So a compound like I3C helps to metabolize. What that means to the viewers, it helps to wash out some of these toxins that could contribute to chronic disease. So that's why as a nutrient, it's a component of what we call a cruciferous vegetable, but I3C in itself can help to metabolize some of these toxins out of the system. These particular cruciferous vegetables contain compounds like I3C, and that's why, our parents used to tell us when we were kids, eat your vegetables. Well, there's some method to that madness. We didn't necessarily like the taste of Brussels sprouts, but the I3C, which is a component of cruciferous vegetables, has the unique ability to quench and wash out toxins that can be harmful for us and contribute to chronic disease in the future, particularly hormone-related diseases that target women more often than men, such as like hormone-related cancers.
And Dr. Gita, finally, how does I3C as an antioxidant compare to, say, grapeseed extract or green tea extract?
So antioxidants are compounds that are also found in fruits and vegetables. However, antioxidants, they have an effect on neutralizing what we call free radicals, or things that oxidize the body and can contribute to cell damage. Whereas I3C works more predominantly in the liver function. So it helps to actually detoxify. So there's a bit of a difference. Detoxifying is a way to wash out nasty hormones, where antioxidants prevent damage on a cellular level. So they're a little bit different.
Well, listen, I appreciate you joining us here today in Richmond, because I think, like a lot of people, I've never heard of I3C and its benefits, so I appreciate you being here today. We should mention to you, if you check out Dr. Gita's website, you can get more information on his book, which is The Doctor of the Future is Here, where you actually talk a little bit in parts of the book about this subject matter and antioxidants, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go check out the website, and thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
This edition of the Health and Wellness segment has been brought to you by Viva Nutraceuticals.
Insozia is an effective sleep aid that can help you wake up in the morning feeling well rested. The traditional Chinese herbal medicine is patented and has been used for centuries to help relieve insomnia due to heart blood deficiency. Insozia is made in Canada, formulated by doctors, and manufactured by experts with more than 20 years of experience. For more information, go to vivahealthsolutions.com.
Well, we're wrapping up things here where we got started on Joe Forte's beautiful patio for their summer patio party.
That's right. I'm going to be missing this patio about 6 months from now when it's cold and rainy, but we're enjoying it now. But show's come to an end. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
We'll see you next time on Our City Tonight.
Oh, this is so good. Oh.